All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking at something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's potential acquisition of Volkswagen factories in Germany
Hmm.
by Chinese companies.
Big stuff.
It's there's a lot to unpack here, so we're going to try to get through it all. But
Right.
our main source today is this article,
Right.
and it's got kind of a dramatic title.
It does.
China to purchase struggling German car factories,
Oh, wow.
Volkswagen among them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty,
Exclamation point.
it is. It's bold.
So to start, I think it's important to get a sense of like
Yeah,
where Volkswagen sits, within Germany.
absolutely.
They're not just a car company there.
Look at that.
It's an institution. It's like,
Cultural.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
think about the Beetle, the Golf.
Yeah.
These are like iconic cars.
Deeply, deeply intertwined with the German identity.
And with their economic success too.
Absolutely.
They employ a ton of people. They're seen as like
It's absolutely. You know, for a long time, this like symbol of German engineering prowess.
exactly.
But our article today is painting, like kind of a different picture.
Yeah.
It's highlighting some struggles that they're facing.
They are.
And particularly as they're trying to,
Yeah.
make this transition to electric vehicles.
Right, the EV market.
Yeah, and so it seems like they're investing heavily,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're maybe lagging behind a little bit
Right.
in this global shift.
Especially compared to
Yeah.
the Chinese companies, their financials.
Oh, was that?
In Q3 of 2024 show a 1.4%
Wow.
drop in their global deliveries,
Oh,
a 41.7% drop in revenue,
wow.
and a 60% drop in profit.
Those are some serious numbers.
Yeah. It's not great.
That's not good.
And while there's multiple factors at play, that
Yeah.
seems to be a major one.
Okay, and so this is where the Chinese companies come in.
Right. It seems like they're seeing, an opportunity here
An opportunity,
in
definitely.
Volkswagen's struggles,
Mhm.
and they're ready to like make a move, it seems.
Should capitalize on it.
And so I think it's important to understand like
yeah.
China's ambition here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to be like
They want to be
the global leader in the EV market.
the leader. Yeah.
And so acquiring these Volkswagen factories would be like a
Yeah.
huge step toward that goal.
Absolutely.
But right now, they're facing this big hurdle.
The big one. Yeah.
The EU has imposed
Oh, yeah?
some pretty hefty tariffs
Some serious tariffs on
on Chinese EVs.
over 45% to protect their own market.
Yeah, I have to protect their own.
Yeah. So how do they get around that?
Well, that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
The article seems to suggest that by acquiring factories in Europe, specifically Germany,
Okay.
they can just bypass them.
Oh, so they just like set up shop.
Exactly. In Germany, and then they're
Cool
there
there.
we go.
Yeah.
Like they're
No tariffs.
so then they can offer their EVs at a
yeah.
much more competitive price
More.
to European consumers.
It's all about strategy
Yeah.
and being able to offer those lower prices.
So it's like they're killing two birds with one stone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lower prices and then
They're getting around the tariffs,
access to the German
Yeah.
engineering and manufacturing.
which is world renowned.
Absolutely world renowned.
So what does that mean for Germany?
That's the big question.
They're in a really tough spot here.
Tough spot. Yeah.
On the one hand, they got to think about jobs.
Yeah, they need to.
They got to think about supporting
Absolutely.
the auto industry.
It's vital to their economy.
But on the other hand, like
Yeah.
giving up control
Of such an
of a
important...
company like Volkswagen,
Yeah.
which is so central to their national identity.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That's a tough pill to swallow, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
the article even mentions concerns about,
Yeah.
what happens
Yeah.
to Volkswagen's technology
What happens to the technology?
and, intellectual property.
Yeah, the IP.
If these factories are sold,
Right. Because
is that
it's a valid concern.
a valid concern? Like, are we talking about
Oh, absolutely.
sensitive technology being transferred over?
We're talking about decades
Okay.
of German innovation.
Yeah.
We're talking about engine design, manufacturing,
Wow.
processes. We're even talking about software development
Okay.
for autonomous driving.
It's not
It's not just,
handmade cars.
it's bigger than just like
That's way bigger.
saving some jobs or boosting the economy. It's like
It's about the future of the industry.
it's like reshaping the whole
Yeah.
automotive industry,
Potentially.
potentially,
With China at the helm.
with China leading the way.
Yeah. And it's not even just about China either,
Right.
right?
That's another layer.
The article brings up the BRICS nations.
It does.
And it suggests that, like,
Yeah.
this move by China could open doors
But open doors.
for other BRICS members,
For sure.
like Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa,
Mhm.
to increase their influence in Europe.
It's a power play.
So we've got this, like,
Yeah.
potential shift in the global balance of power
Absolutely.
with China
Yeah.
potentially leading the charge.
It's the forefront.
So what does this mean for
Right.
the other European automakers?
Yeah,
like
rather-
BMW, Mercedes, Audi.
What happens to them?
How do they fit into all this,
Yeah.
this changing landscape?
Right. Where do they go from here? Well, I think for companies like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, this could be a real wake-up call.
Yeah.
They're already,
They're already facing some competition
they're facing
in the EV market.
stiff competition.
And if the Chinese companies are able to, gain a foothold in Europe,
Get that foothold.
like especially with this advantage of
Officially, yes.
lower production costs, I mean, it could really force them to
Force them to make some changes.
like rethink their
Big
strategies.
time.
So, I mean, it sounds like we could see like a much more competitive market,
Oh, yeah.
which is probably good news for consumers.
Yeah. I mean,
Like more options, potentially lower prices.
competition is good for the consumer.
Yeah, that sounds like a win for the average car buyer.
At least in the short term, yeah.
Short term. Okay, so
But there's
what
also
about long term?
potential downsides
Okay.
if European automakers can't keep up
Yeah,
with this pace of innovation and this price competitiveness.
right.
You could see job losses.
Oh,
You could see a decline in their market share.
so it could actually weaken the European auto industry.
Weaken it as a whole. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's real complex. Yeah, there's a lot of
factors.
ramifications.
Yeah, lots of things to consider.
So where does this leave Germany then?
Right. That's
Oh, baby, like
you're facing
$1 question.
a really tough decision.
Tough decision.
In our
It
article,
doesn't seem
it doesn't really offer any easy answers.
very easy answers, no.
So what are their options here?
Well, one option is to try and block the sale
Okay, that makes sense.
of these Volkswagen factories to the Chinese companies.
Protect their national interest.
Protect those national interests.
Safeguard the technologies.
Absolutely.
Maybe appease people who are a little wary of China's
Those who are little,
growing influence.
yeah, who are concerned.
But I imagine there's some downsides to that as well.
Of course. I mean, blocking the sale could
Yeah.
severely strain relations with China.
Right.
I mean, that's a major economic partner.
Yeah. Big time.
And then on top of that, it could force the German government. Yeah.
To come up with a plan to support Volkswagen financially,
Oh, so like bail them out.
potentially,
Hmm.
which could be difficult
Yeah.
in the current economic climate and political landscape.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So it's like a really delicate balancing act.
It is a delicate balancing act.
Protect national interests.
Right.
But then risk
Yeah.
economic repercussions, diplomatic
Consequences.
functions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any other options?
Well, another option
Yeah.
is to allow the sale to go through,
Okay.
hoping that,
Yeah.
the influx of Chinese investment will
Yeah.
breathe new life into these factories.
Okay, so it's kind of like a more pragmatic
Yeah, much more pragmatic,
approach.
looking at those immediate economic benefits.
Yeah, but I imagine there are also concerns about
Absolutely.
like the long-term consequences.
Huge concerns. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
the potential downsides are significant.
Like what?
Well, I mean, you're essentially ceding a significant portion of your auto industry to a global power, to a competitor,
And all the expertise that comes with it.
and all that valuable technological
Yes,
expertise.
you're
giving that up.
So it's like a trade-off.
It is a trade-off.
Short-term economic gain
Yeah.
versus, these potential long-term risks.
Long-term risks to your industrial to your technological leadership.
Yeah,
So it's a tough call.
it is a tough call.
I can understand why
I can see why they're
hesitant.
proceeding cautiously.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just about Volkswagen either, right?
Right, and this is the thing.
This could have
It's bigger than just Volkswagen.
throughout the entire European auto industry.
Whole industry could be affected.
How so?
Well, imagine
Yeah.
a scenario
Okay.
where these Chinese-owned factories in Germany
Yeah.
become hubs for EV production and innovation.
Okay.
And they're churning out
Yeah.
high-quality, affordable electric vehicles.
Okay. Yeah.
This could shift.
It's like a power shift
Yeah, balance of power
in the global
in the whole industry
auto industry.
could shift away from Europe.
Wow.
Europe's dominance in this sector.
That would be huge.
It would be a huge shift.
And what would that mean for the average consumer?
Yeah. What would that mean?
Would we be seeing, like,
Well, potentially.
cheaper, more advanced EVs
Yeah, you could see
hitting the market?
cheaper, more advanced EVs
Okay.
hitting the European market.
Yeah.
Increased competition from those Chinese automakers could drive prices down
Okay.
and accelerate innovation.
So it's good.
You might see a wider variety of models
Yeah.
available at more affordable prices.
But we also got to consider those downsides.
But always got to consider those downsides.
Yeah, like what
Yeah,
could
what if-
go wrong?
What if the European automakers
Yeah.
can adapt
Okay.
to this new landscape?
Right.
Job losses, decline in market share.
And then we could see
You could see
these European brands,
Yeah.
which were once, synonymous with
synonymous with quality
quality and innovation.
lose ground.
They could lose ground
Yeah.
to their Chinese counterparts.
To the competition.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, a fascinating situation.
But it's so complex.
But it is complex.
There's potential winners
Yeah.
and losers here.
Absolutely.
It really shows you just how
It really highlights
Really.
the dynamic
the
nature
global economy.
of the global economy
Yeah.
and the automotive industry
Yeah.
is right at the center of it.
So what happens next?
Yeah.
Our article doesn't really
It doesn't give us
give us any concrete prediction.
concrete predictions, no.
But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
how do you think this might unfold?
Well, there are some key factors
Okay.
that will probably influence the outcome.
Yeah.
Obviously, the German government's stance
Right.
will be crucial.
We got to make a decision.
You've got a big decision to make.
Yeah.
We need to consider the role of labor unions.
Okay.
They'll be advocating for those jobs.
Right. Of course.
And then public opinion.
Public opinion always plays a role.
Always.
It's not just about the economics here.
It's not just about the economics.
It's about politics.
Politics, national identity.
It's about the future of
Yeah.
an industry that's intertwined with their history.
so much history.
Yeah, so it's a complex equation
Definitely complex.
with a lot of variables.
And this whole thing feels like a real pivotal moment, not just for
Not just for the auto industry,
the auto industry, but like for the world.
but for the whole world.
This really makes you think, like, what does all this mean for
Yeah.
us, the average person?
Right, for the everyday person.
Yeah, like, should we be concerned about this?
No.
Or is this just something that, like,
It's a good question.
CEOs and politicians need to worry about?
Yeah, I mean, these kinds of shifts in the global economy,
Yeah.
they can have ripple effects that reach far beyond the
Yeah.
boardroom, you
Yeah.
know?
So it's
Make
not
decisions.
Yeah.
It's not just about, like, staying informed.
Yeah, decisions made by governments and corporations
Yeah.
about trade, investment, technology.
Right.
These can impact things like
Okay.
job markets,
Right.
consumer prices,
It could affect.
even what kinds of cars
Wow.
we'll be driving in the future.
So it's really about understanding
Yeah.
how these forces could
Understanding those dynamics.
shape our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
In very real ways.
The more we understand,
Okay.
the better equipped we'll be
Yeah.
to navigate these changes
Yes.
and maybe even influence them in a positive way.
Well, I think our deep dive today has
Yeah.
provided a lot to think about.
Yes.
We've covered,
We've covered a lot.
Volkswagen's challenges,
Volkswagen's challenges, yeah.
China's ambitions in the EV market,
China's ambitions, definitely.
Germany's tough choices,
Germany's tough choices for sure.
and kind of the potential implications
Yeah.
for the global auto industry.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah, and the story's not over, right?
No, the story's still unfolding.
This is like a real life drama
It is.
playing out on a global stage.
And we all have a role to play
Oh, okay. So what can we do?
in how it unfolds.
Yeah, should we be like writing to our elected officials or?
That's certainly an option.
Yeah.
But perhaps the most important thing
Okay.
is to stay engaged, keep learning,
Stay engaged, keep learning.
and be part of the conversation.
Yeah, it's not just about the cars
Exactly. It's bigger.
or one company or one country.
It's about understanding those larger forces
Yeah.
that are shaping our world.
And like thinking critically about the future we want to create.
Exactly. And sometimes just asking the right questions.
Yeah.
And having these conversations
That's a great point.
is the first step towards positive change.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have
We've left our listener with a lot to ponder.
a lot to think about.
This whole situation with Volkswagen, it's like
Like a microcosm.
a microcosm of these larger
Out
transformations.
of the larger transformation.
Happening in the global economy.
Yeah, that shifting balance of power.
Yeah. So how do you think this is all going to play out?
What does it mean for the auto industry?
Yeah.
What does it mean for global trade?
What does it mean for the world?
Yeah, it's a question
It's a big question.
worth considering.
And it's one that we'll probably be talking about for years to come.
For years to come.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And we look forward to
Yeah.
exploring more fascinating topics with you in the future.
Absolutely.